Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jose Garrido. I work at Dialogues. Dialogues is a web development company based in Dallas, Texas. We are a small group of developers all throughout the US. Most of us are in Dallas, but we also have developers in Florida and New Mexico. And we wanted to start a video series showing everyone. We want to build something in public to show everyone what's our process to create websites, how we think about the structure, what's our process, our train of thought when we work on new projects. For this one in particular, it's something that it's not a project like an ideal project, but it's a website that we're gonna convert into an app, a web app that Dialogues we're gonna be using internally. So this is a good example of in this video series we're gonna be creating a rapid prototyping this web application. So you can see how we do this using Laravel, PHP framework, how we work, and potentially, yes, so you can all learn a little bit. If you don't have Laravel experience, that's fine. I'm going to try to explain as much as I can without going too much into the details, because then the video would be extremely long. But I'm going to guide you step by step over what's needed to create this app, and I'm going to explain in a second what it's going to be about. But the idea is for all of you in the public to follow this build, how we are going to construct this application, and eventually we're going to deploy it. It's going to be public so you can use it, and you'll have the best of both worlds. You'll be able to use it online, public, for free, but you'll also be able to see how we create it. Potentially you can give us feedback as well. You can leave comments or even send us a message through our website, and we can work on improvements or add new features in future videos. So this is going to be a video series. This is the first one where we're going to create the basic parts of the application. And the application we want to build is a website monitoring service. So at Dialogues, as you know, we build websites, and we also maintain websites for customers. And from time to time, some of these websites go down. So we want to be notified when this happens so we can take action quickly and resolve whatever problem occurred in that client's website. Or if there's a server outage, for example, we want to be notified of which websites are down because they were part of that server. So like I said, for this project, we're going to be using Laravel. It's going to let us do very rapid prototyping, and we're going to be using Cursor as our code editor that has AI integrated, and it's going to allow us to write this application even faster. So, okay, let's start by going to laravel.com, and let's go to documentation. Let's put this over here. I think I need to bring a terminal to install our new application here on my computer. So we go to the documentation. I think I already have the installer. I already have this one, but let's try it. Yeah, I have it already. Let's create a new Laravel application. Laravel new, and let's call it website monitor. Let's use no started kit, PHP unit, and let's initialize a Git repo. After this is done, yes, let's use MySQL. Now we need to cd into that folder that was just created with our project. Do npm install, npm run build, and composer run dev right after that. So this is how you set up a new Laravel application, if you don't have the installer on your computer, this instructions above, depending on your operative system, you would use this to install it. There's also a way to do it using Composer, but I think this is more straightforward using the Laravel installer. Okay, npm is done. Now let's run Composer run dev to start our server. And we should have our app here. Perfect. Now, it has, this welcome screen that all the Laravel apps get installed by default. Let's go ahead and make some modifications here to start customizing it. Like I said, I'm going to be using Cursor as my editor, and you'll start seeing how crazy these AI enhancements are for web development. So let me move these out of the way, and let's open a folder, basically that website monitor. Okay. Close all this. Perfect. Now, if we check out the router, the first thing I want to do is remove this default page that came with the app. So I'm just going to say, whenever you visit the root / just go to a new view called home. And the views are here under resources folder, views. Let's delete the welcome. And let's add a view for our home. Say home. And we say hi, hello world. There it is. Okay. So let's think about this for a second. If we want to monitor websites, if they go down, if they're up, the first thing we'll need is a table for the websites, right? So for that, Laravel has a command. Let me show you in the documentation. It's called migrations, generating migration, where you run this command, PHP artisan make migration, and you tell it that you want to create a table called websites. So create websites table. It creates a file for you with a definition of the columns that this table is going to have. And here, this is where we start seeing the power of AI and Cursor. It understands that I'm trying to create a table called websites, and it's starting to recommend me columns that contextually make sense for this type of table. So that area, that line that's very light gray, it's not there in the code yet, but it's a recommendation from Cursor. And if I want to use it, I just have to type tab in my keyboard. And that's what I'm going to do right now, because this table, we're going to need a column called name, where we're going to be able to label the sites or the websites that we want to monitor. So just by typing tab, it wrote down that line, and it already recommended me 2 more column to store the URL of the website, and another column to store the description. I'm going to head and click tab again, but I don't really need the description. I just want to keep it simple for now. We're going to have the name of the website and the URL. We also need a status to say if it's okay or if there's an error, basically if it's up or down. And I also, yes, I need a timestamp. Let's make this a timestamp to record when it was last checked. Let's make that column nullable. And the status, let's make a default of unknown, because when a new website is created, we don't know if it's up or down. And we probably need another timestamp for last notified, right? Because when a site goes down, we want to be notified that it's down so we can take action. But at the same time, there's a process that's going to be running potentially every minute. And when a site goes down, we don't want that process to notify us every single minute that the site is down. We want to be notified when it goes down, and then it doesn't spam us, it doesn't send us a notification every minute. But if it ever goes up again and goes down, then we want to receive another one. So this column is going to help us keep track of that so we don't get flooded with notifications. All right, let's keep it like that for now. Simple. A name column, URL, status, last check, and last notified timestamps. And now to create this table, all we have to do is PHP artisan migrate. And it created the websites table for us. Okay, awesome. Now the next thing we need is a model. PHP artisan make model website. It has to be singular. And what the model does is it's going to allow Laravel to map a table in the database to an object in PHP. So we can easily traverse an object without having to make SQL queries directly. So let's make that model. And lastly, we're going to need a controller called website controller, where we're going to define the functions, the logic that's going to basically the CRUD operations for the website, to create a website, list a website, etc. Let's do that. And okay, now we have our tools created. Let's go ahead and create our routes. Again, this is another part of the magic from Cursor. It knows, it's already aware of the website's table we created, the columns it has, and it kind of follows the developer's train of thought. So when we open the router file, it kind of knows that the next thing we would want to do is create routes to, say, list the websites, add a new website, etc. So again, this is not written down, it's just recommending. If I click tab, which I'm doing right now, it writes down that line that it recommended and it recommends more stuff. So I'm gonna keep clicking tab because this makes sense. It's gonna be a route to get the websites. It's gonna be our site / websites to list them, the ones that we have created. It's gonna use a view called websites we're gonna create in a second. And then, yeah, I don't really want a view to see the details of a website just yet. But I do want a route to show the form to create a website. So let's see, if we do websites create, so it knows that I'm trying to create a route to show the form to create a website. Yep, it does that, which in this view, we're gonna have the form. And then route post to websites is gonna be the store. No, it's not gonna be a, actually we don't want views here. Well, in this case, no, it has to go to the controller. So let's do another example here with Cursor. Another cool thing is I wanted to refactor this so it doesn't return the view directly from the router, but it takes me to the controller where I'm able to query the database for existing websites and pass it to the view. So I can highlight the section that I wanted to refactor and notice these shortcuts for edit or chat. I'm gonna do the edit and I'm gonna say refactor this to use website controller instead. and it did just that. We accept it either here, or just do Command Y, and it accepts the changes, the refactor that it proposed. So this is much better because we don't want to start putting business logic in the router. So that's why we created the controller. And anytime a person goes to /websites, is going to be handled by this function called index in the website controller. Now let's do the same. See, look at all the things that it's now recommending. Let's do route to post to the website. I'm sorry, to post to create a new website, and also route get create to create a website. Okay, and of course we need to use a website controller. So let's do it in this order. First, we need to list websites, then it's probably gonna show like in a table, then a form to create a new website, and a function to store that website that we're creating. So now we need to open the website controller. There it is. And here cursor starts recommending us what to do with the function. Index function, yes, all we want to do is, well, return website's index, but we also need to pull all the websites and pass it to the view. There it is. A create function, it just draws the form, that's fine. And a store function, it takes all the parameters, passing the request, and it's gonna create a website with it. Awesome. Last thing we need to do is use the model website. Great. Now let's create those views. Let's start with the index. Before creating the views, we probably need a layout. So let's create a folder called layouts and a new file called main. It's going to be our main layout here. Let's do some basic HTML. And it's just going to yield the content. Let's also use not Bootstrap, but see, this is another thing. You can write a comment and it just cursor, it's gonna recommend you code that goes along the comment. So I just want to say include tailwind. And there it is. It included 2.2. Not sure what's the current version, but let's use that one for now. Again, we're just rapid prototyping. This is not kosher by any means, but we just want to create a basic prototype of our idea of our project without spending too much time, reading documentation or making this form perfect or making this header perfect. Let's just create the functionality and then we can start iterating and making things better. All right, so that's the layout, and I'm going to create a view now. Let's see, in our controller, we said we need a folder for the website's views. So let's create a new folder called websites. Let's add a file index. And now in here, we need to extend the layout, the main layout, and the content is going to be websites. See, I love it. It already knows, kind of heard me when I was saying this, that we want to show existing websites in a table. So it's creating a table with these headers, which is amazing. And let's do the body. Perfect. It knows we're passing the websites as a parameter to this view. And it's just looping through them. It knows every website has a name, a URL, and a status. And also the others, but the last check and last notify, but that's not put those columns here for now. Okay. Okay, let's make this a little bit prettier. So let's say I'm gonna make these bold and bigger, even bigger. And only show, yeah, if there's no websites, write this, else write this, and let's indent all this code. Great. So it should just show no websites found. Go to websites. Perfect. Let's add some padding and layout. Yeah, there we go. Some padding. Love it. Now from here, obviously we don't have a table because we don't have websites. How do we add a website? Through the form, but we need a link or a button to get to the form. So let's wrap this in a div. Yeah, it created, perfect. It created a button there. It's going to websites create, perfect. Error. Oh yes, we didn't name our route, so it doesn't know a route with the name of websites create. Let's see if I put the cursor here. Oh, there we go. It knows the name. Let's name this one, and let's also name this one. All right. In the index, let's make this a little bit prettier. Yes, let's do flex and justify so it goes there. Let's add some more padding here. Padding bottom 4. There's more space. Perfect. Now the add website, it shows an error because we haven't created this yet. Let's go ahead and create it. So the form is going to live in this view called websites create. It doesn't exist yet, but we can quickly create one. Create blade PHP. Now we extend layout main, create website, and let's use the same block of code so it has some consistency. Say create website here. All right. Let's remove this from the header. Okay, all I need is this form. This is amazing. So it created a form with the action of websites store, which is the path to we're going to post the requests to store the form using method post, and it has name. It has name. Oh, there we go. And it has the URL and the submit button. So that's how it looks. Let's put this in a div as well. And yeah, let's limit the length of this, but at the same time, let's move everything to the left. No. Yeah, MX Auto is the problem. There we go. Yep, so just a simple form, and okay, it's gonna post to websites store. The thing is, website store, it receives a request and it creates a website with everything that comes in the request, which right now is only name and URL. And then it redirects to the index, which is going to show the table. But I think we need to make those fields, what's the word? Not protected in the model. But let's test this real quick. I want to check my own website, dialogs.com. Yeah, so it's not fillable, not protected, sorry, fillable. And it's also passing the token. Yeah, that's not good. So let's go to our model and say, yeah, there we go. We only want the name and the URL to be fillable. Let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. Now we need some padding here. The table index. There we go. Some more padding here, please. Let's not make it full, just like that. Love it. Let's add another one. We also have we created an app, a dialog called Club History that we also want to monitor. Great. So I think this is a good stopping point for the first video. What we did was we introduced dialogues, and the goal of this video and the series of videos that are going to come after this one, we're building a website to monitor other websites when they go down, and we're doing this with Laravel. We installed the project, we created a table, model, migration, controller to handle the websites. We created some views that are going to help us, or that are currently helping us, listing the websites and creating new websites. That's what we have so far. In the next videos, there are many more things to come. For example, I think we want to create a cron job. So every minute, we're going to be checking the status of the website. And if it's down, we're going to change the status here. Then potentially we're going to be starting with Slack notifications, because at Dialogues we use Slack. So when a website goes down, we want to receive a notification via Slack. In the future, we can add more types of notifications like email, SMS, even webhooks. And I also want to deploy this, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, to the public. And we're going to be using Laravel Forge for that. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and please leave a comment with any feedback that you have, improvements, or recommendations for the next videos. Thank you, and see you soon.